Fucking unbelievable.
Whew.
It's embarrassing too, you know. It's like we're trying to get going here. Like, fuck. Anyway, we'll be all right. I do have a little opener, quick opener.
I have an opener too.
All right, great. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bump and Run. I'm Pete Colasano, joined as always by my good friend, Mr. Scott Bracey. What's going on, dude?
Hello. Good to see you, sir. Finally,
How was-
after all this time, I missed you.
How was golf yesterday?
Not great. Did not
Bad
play
weather?
well. Did not play well. No, weather was great.
Weather was
not
fine.
play well. I have a chipping yip that I'm
Oh,
trying
wow.
to
That
work
used to
through.
be like your specialty.
Yeah, and it's fucking driving me crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
So I have to go back to a practice field and start doing some chipping, I think.
Good idea. What's been driving me crazy is some of these games in the NFL and college football. We'll get to one specifically in the name of Tennessee versus Georgia that absolutely drove me crazy at the end of that game. I got a little something to say about that. Of course, we had an amazing boxing match on Saturday into Sunday morning, which was just way too late.
Way too late, man.
It's just out of control. I think it started after 12:30. Like, you just can't do that for the East Coast people.
I was at my buddy's house in Saddlebrook, and I got home at like 1:40.
Yeah.
Like
the fight
the town
ended
over
at
from me,
1:30 or 1:45. It was something ridiculous.
Oh.
So, but before we get into any of that, I wanted to bring up something, and this seems so obvious, but I think sometimes we take it for granted, and that's this idea that coaching really matters. Maybe more in football than any other sport, but coaching really matters. When I think of college football coaches, I think of it more of a recruiting thing. Like, Bobby Bowden used to say all the time when he would be complimented on being a great coach, he's like, yeah, I got really great players.
Jimmy and Joe is not the X's.
Absolutely. You know, Dabo Swinney for his stretch where he had championships and ACC championships and national championships and great teams, great players, great recruiter. Nick Saban, I know you don't love him, but Ryan Day, these guys are great recruiters. I remember when Nick Saban took the job at Alabama, everyone was like, Alabama's not a national power anymore. You can't make them that no matter how good you are. Wrong. He turned them around instantly. And I don't even know, what is it? 7, 8, I don't know how many, 6 national championships.
Yeah, 6 there, 7 total.
Incredible. Urban Meyer, you go from Utah to Florida to Ohio State. Doesn't matter. You know, he was a great recruiter, right? And then when I go to the NFL, it has a lot more to do with how you operate and what you do in your scheme, right? And I think of how is it possible that the same coaches year in, year out, for the most part, are in the NFC, AFC championship game, Super Bowl, and winning Super Bowls. The Andy Reids, got to throw Nick Sirianni in there as much as we might not want to lump him in that number, but the McVays and LaFleur and the Harbaugh brothers, this is not an accident. Mm-hmm. And I bring this up to speak of one in particular who has not won a Super Bowl yet, but I think showed his worth this past Sunday. That's Kyle Shanahan. It just doesn't seem to matter who his quarterback is. He just gets the best out of him in the system, the way he teaches the system, the way he teaches the quarterbacks to run the system. Just think about this for a second. Mac Jones threw the ball almost, 39 times on Sunday?
Something like that, yeah.
First start as a San Francisco 49er. Kyle Shanahan has him throwing 39 times. He completes it over a 60% completion rate, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, it doesn't matter. Brock Purdy goes out there. We're all like, he's not that good. Well, maybe he's not. I don't know. But in this system, he is. Garoppolo went to a goddamn Super Bowl with Shanahan. And then we go back. If you go back far enough, you see Matt Ryan's best years were with Kyle Shanahan. Matt Schaub was a fucking all-pro back at Houston Texans with Kyle Shanahan.
Kirk Cousins with Washington, you said that or not? Was he?
I didn't even mention that one, so you make such a great point. We could say we want, maybe he comes up small in big games, or not even in big games, but in big spots in big games. You know, you can make that argument, and that's fine. But you cannot deny the fact that just it doesn't seem to matter who lines up behind the center. He finds a way to get the absolute most out of him. And you know what's funny? Before you respond, I want to say this one thing. We've said many times on this show, all these guys who make it to the NFL are really good. There's a reason, only 5, 6, 7% of guys get drafted, not even that many. They're all really good, but a lot of times it matters where you end up. And it's not an accident that everybody who ends up with Kyle Shanahan ends up doing really well, ends up being pretty damn successful.
Mangiano, my man, back and better than ever. Two things. One, two of my buddies, really good buddies of mine, are Niner fans, and they would be ecstatic. They are ecstatic that they're 2-0 at Seattle, at New Orleans. Listen, they're not good, but tough place to play with a backup quarterback.
Absolutely.
And number two, it's not like Mac Jones was throwing a T.O. and Jerry Rice here, boys. This is
right.
This is wide receiver by committee at this point.
Yeah. Jawan Jennings,
yeah,
no Kittle.
I like a lot, but tip my hat to both of those guys. Both of those wins and Kyle and Mac. But I'm curious to see going forward if Mac sticks around after Brock is healthy enough to play.
That is a funny question. What if he goes on I think Purdy's going to be out a few games.
I think definitely this week, and then maybe he's rushing back on purpose.
What if he goes on a win streak, wins all his starts?
They might have an issue there. But
it's crazy.
They paid Brock, and
we don't even bring up the fact that oh my God, he's Seattle's quarterback right now.
Mr. Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold was there for one season, and the next season he's in Minnesota, and he basically puts up a Pro Bowl season. It's just really something else. I just think it needs to be acknowledged. Coaching really does matter. It's not an accident that the same coaches of the same teams are in the playoffs every freaking year. And you can't just say all of them is because of the quarterback they have. Some of them you can say that, but it's not just that simple. Some of these guys just are better than your guy, period.
Peter, I have a question for you that I want you to think about as we get to our college segment in a little while. Who's having a worse start to the season? Cade Klubnik, LaSaur Sellers, or DJ Lagway? Think about it. I don't need an answer right now because I had this. I can't be driving home from work today, and I'm going. Two of those guys were Heisman favorites, and one of those guys was a Heisman hopeful, and now
all struggling.
City, dude.
All struggling.
Anywho, think about that, and we'll get started with our NFL Week 2 review.
Let's do that.
Last Thursday night in Lambeau Field, the Green Bay Packers 27, the Washington Commanders 18. It wasn't that close.
No, it was not.
I don't know how much you got to see.
A lot of it.
Green Bay, again, 2 games, 2 home games, blah, 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 against 2 playoff teams nonetheless, but they look like a fucking wagon right now.
What you have to appreciate in Green Bay is that they don't attract free agents, right? Because nobody wants to live in Green Bay. Not that it's a bad place to live. It's just a bad place to hang out. It's not Miami. It's not Dallas. It's not LA.
New York.
Yeah, it's not a hotbed for fun. So they don't exactly draw great free agents, which makes it even more impressive to me how they build teams. Even when they do attract free agents, they tend to be B plus free agents. They never get the big guy. Sometimes they'll trade for the big guy like a Reggie White or Micah Parsons, but they don't attract them as free agents. I look around the NFL, I don't think there's a more complete team in the league as we sit here right now. The Eagles would be closest, but the Eagles are not nearly as complete on offense. I think they're the most complete team. They just don't have any glaring and obvious weaknesses right now. They get after the pass rush. They get after the quarterback. They play good run defense, which is amazing because they lost one of their best run defending tackles.
Yeah, those trades are getting better and better for Green Bay. We knew it was good already, but now
what's funny is Parsons had 0 stats in the last game. No sacks, no nothing.
It doesn't matter. His presence is known, dude.
I agree. I'm just saying for $47 million, you want a little more than presence.
I think he's still a little bit on a pitch count, but
played 67% of the plays.
Gary, that's a good number. That's a high number. Yeah,
he played a decent amount. Now, you're right though. He's not playing full game, but that even makes my point even more. That they're just very complete. They're a very complete team. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. They could go quick. They can slow it down. They get after the quarterback. They play good pass defense. They play good run defense. And on top of it, they got decent special teams. There's no glaring weaknesses
there. They're missing 2 wide receivers. They lost another one the other night.
I know.
Are you nervous at any point that Jordan Love is going to get hurt?
I mean, you have to be. Yeah,
you got to be a little aware of it, right?
Absolutely, you got to be at least I would say, I don't know if the word is prepared for it. I mean, I guess every team needs to be prepared for it. But yeah, because it's happened pretty much every year he's been a starter. So yeah, I mean, you have to. But this goes to what we talked about in the preseason. And once again, we were right. When he's healthy, it doesn't always look right. Like I said, he throws off his back foot a lot, but it doesn't seem to matter. And they don't seem to care because they're not correcting him. And he makes a lot of completions. He really can sling it, man. He is a really good thrower.
A lot.
Yeah, he's a really good thrower of the football.
Not that I never did not like him, but I just thought there was something missing. That's starting to.
Well, listen, if you look at his last year at Nevada, there was a lot of struggles and a lot of turnovers. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he's gone like 9 or 10 or 11 straight games without an interception, which was an issue early on with him. He seemed to correct it. It came back again last season in the beginning, and a lot of it might have been because he was injured, and he hasn't thrown an interception. I think it might be 10 games. It's something in that neighborhood. The real number, the exact number doesn't matter. 9, 10, 11. I don't care. That's a lot. And that's impressive. That's great coaching. Going back to what I started this segment with, like the coaching matters and it shows on this team a lot. And to be fair, also excellent front office work because they fill gaps, man. They draft well and they fill gaps and they're always looking to the future. They're very rarely are they drafting for this season, this coming season.
May I remind you and our listeners that Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator for the Packers, was the head coach of Boston College.
That's right.
And resigned to be the defense coordinator of the Packers, a la Chip Kelly, head coach of UCLA, went to be the head coach of Ohio State.
Yeah.
With all the college, and it looked like Chip Kelly made the right move. Holy Christ, we'll get into that later. But with all the bullshit with NIL and transfer portal, and if you're in a small college, why not make a coordinator job? And now it looks like Hafley, his name's going to be coming up for a head coaching job if he keeps this nonsense up.
Rightfully so, right?
Peter to Cincinnati, a big win and a huge loss all at the same afternoon.
Indeed.
Bengals 31, Jacksonville 27. Although Mr. Duval over there fucked up that game big time.
Oh, my God.
What an ass hat. What a fucking ass hat.
Oh, my God.
We'll get into that in a second, but obviously we'll just say Elephant and Joe Burrow lost for 3 months, maybe the year.
Yeah, it's kind of the season.
It's probably the season. What the fuck? Liam Cohen, that's his name, this asshole. They're up, 3 points?
Yeah.
4th and 5 on what? Bengals 10-yard line, whatever it is. Yeah.
Kick the field goal and you force him to score a touchdown.
Quarterback, you fucking moron.
Yeah, you force him to go drive for a touchdown.
His press conference made it even worse. No, every time.
Yeah, because he was adamant.
He's not tricky about it.
Yeah, he's not even like, yeah, I know where you're coming from. I know what you're thinking. But when we look at the numbers stick up. This is what I always say to you about the numbers. The numbers are league-wide numbers. The numbers are not necessarily the numbers against Kansas City. The numbers are, Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes is the other quarterback, hey, you may have an argument there. You know what I mean? Make this a 10-point game and then the game is fucking over. Like, I get it. That's different. But not with Jake Browning. No offense to Jake Browning, because once again, he comes in and plays his balls off and shows that he might be like a Gardner Minshew, like borderline starter, not that great a starter, but certainly one of the top backups in the league, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't feel, certainly you don't want your quarterback going down, but if you have a Gardner Minshew or you have Jake Browning, you still feel like, and frankly, Cincinnati showed that, you still have confidence. Not only you can win that game, but you can win games moving forward. They threw the shit out of the ball in that game.
Yeah.
With Jake Browning. Like, come on, man.
165 receiving or some shit?
Yeah, so, it's just a crazy move to not kick the field goal, regardless of how good the backup was playing. You make them go score a touchdown. It's hard to go 80 yards, 85 with 75 yards, whatever it ends up being. Like, it's just a boneheaded move. And 4th and 1, okay, maybe we have a conversation. 4th and less than 1, something like that, where you can just push it, quarterback sneak, running play, something, or even play action boot where his quarterback has a run pass option would be a great call, especially with Trevor Lawrence. But to be so adamant, you're an idiot then, dude. And that just screams to me you're probably going to be fired within the next 2 years. Like, you're not going to make it past 2 years because you're unwilling to learn. You're just a robot. We don't need you. We could just hire Google to do the job then. So, yeah, it's just a monster mistake.
Cincinnati 2-0 for the first time since Christ died. And now their season looks like it's going to be a long one.
Well, we'll see. Jake again, Jake Browning was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, but then once you get some tape on him and you get some game plans going, it's easier for a guy to come in mid-game. I get that whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say they're going to win 13 games, but can they win 10? They only need 8 more out of the next 16 games. Go 500 the rest of the way, and you got 10 wins.
It just sucks, man. We both love
it. Totally
Burrow.
does.
At what point do we start talking about Andrew Luck for Joe Burrow?
Well, we're kind of at that point now, aren't we? We're talking about he's lost 3 seasons so far. He's on his like 5th or 6th season. So we're kind of already there. He doesn't seem the kind to me that would retire early like that. But what it is more than anything is maybe as an organization, you have to really take a hard look. Is this any different than Tua? Why? Because it's not concussions. Like, you have a fragile guy that you're paying $55 million a year to. You have to really decide, can you go to battle with him? Now, I can go back to when Matt Stafford was with the Lions, especially early in his career, and I think he missed games the first 4 or 5 seasons of his career, like every single year. Part of that was because the Lions were shit. So, and the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is shit. But to be fair, if you look at the play he got hurt on, it looked like a nothing play. And this is what scares me. Like, it wasn't like something where he got lit up like a Christmas tree, bad blocking. Guy just grabbed his ankle, like turf toe. Holy shit. Like, wow. So that's the thing to me. Like, I don't know. How much longer can you say, how long can hope reign eternal with a new season when your guy gets hurt every year?
Front office has to be blamed here a little bit too. Can we protect the son of a bitch?
Well, this is what happens when you listen to your quarterback / GM and you sign 2 wide receivers for $30 million a year. You can't do it. And then your offensive line sucks. Like, this is not flag football. It's not 7-on-7. You have to be the leader and make decisions for your organization. And they obfuscated that and gave it to Burrow and let him be the one making those decisions. I understand why you're afraid he's going to walk, but where's he going to walk? He's going to walk away from Jamar Chase to what? Go play for the fucking Raiders or something like that? So, like, I don't know. Like, it's just it didn't look. I know Carson Palmer did this back in the day, but let's be real. It didn't exactly work out great for him. He lost a year, went to the Raiders, and they still were not that good.
He went to the Cardinals or after the Raiders?
Did he go to the Cardinals too?
He went to the Cardinals for sure. I just don't know if that was before or after the Raiders.
I think it was after the Raiders.
I think you might be right. But
yeah. So
they went to a championship game though with the Cardinals there, didn't he? Didn't they lose to the Panthers with him in the championship game?
Yeah, I think you're right. And he was I don't want to say he was a shell of himself, but he certainly wasn't the guy he was before that. Well, I'm just saying, be careful. Like, this is what I'll do. It didn't he didn't go get a Super Bowl.
We don't know if he did that. We don't know if he did that.
He didn't take the Matt Stafford route and go win a Super Bowl and be an all-pro every year. It just wasn't the case. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know that that's the right answer, but anyway, the organization needs to take some blame for sure. Not for the injury per se, but how he got injured or why he's getting injured, because you don't protect him enough.
Peter, in a game that you did not cover, but what a fucking exciting game. Dallas Cowboys 40. The Russell Wilson led, and we almost wrote him off last week, New York Football Giants 37. The guy was throwing rainbows all over the field.
I know.
This was not a football X's and O's type of game.
No.
Both defenses are maybe bottom 5 in the league.
By the end of the game,
Cowboys got a real problem there, by the way.
Giants were Russell Wilson was just chucking it up to neighbors. It didn't even matter if he was double covered. And on one of the touchdowns, he had a hand over his face, and he still caught
he got hit in a face mask and still caught the ball. Him and Wanda Robinson had a day, but yeah.
I thought the Giants were a better defensive team than this. I think Dallas is exactly who you and I, maybe not everybody else. I know a lot of people are surprised by this, but of course, the 2 stars of Bump and Run Sports podcast are not surprised. We told you they were going to be explosive on offense and probably not great on defense. Micah Parsons or no Micah Parsons, they stunk on defense last year with Micah Parsons. Why wouldn't they still stink without him? And they do. They're bad. To make Russell Wilson, who is washed up, is being kind, calling him washed up, a shell of himself, is kind. The guy couldn't complete a fucking pass last week.
That was bananas.
You make him look like, the Legion of Boom over here. So Dallas is going to have a very strange season because they could clearly score, man. They can move the ball. Dak looks really good.
Running game looks better than we thought too.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Yeah, and he's even getting some protection, getting some time. And if you give Dak time, he's going to make completions, man. He made some really nice throws. I got to give him a lot of credit. Made some really nice throws.
And they got the fucking kicker of the decade here. This guy is a stud.
Oh my God, yeah, he's making 60-yarders like their chip shots. So yeah, it was a fun game to watch, an interesting game to watch. Tough one for the Giants. Giants are going to struggle this year. They're just going to struggle this year.
So Russell Wilson kept Dart off his ass for another couple of weeks. It looks like there, but they play the Chiefs this week, and a must-win game for the Chiefs. We'll get to that in a minute, but
yeah,
we'll see. A heartbreaker for your boy over here. The Broncos lose a fucking, I think maybe a little fixed game. Maybe people are talking. Colts 29, Broncos 28. Now listen, leverage, whatever, no leverage. Maybe the Colts did it earlier in the game. Maybe the Broncos went over the guard. We don't know. But listen, Sean Payton, Will Lutz, and Bo Nix, fourth quarter. You got to put that game away.
Make the field goal.
Got to put it away. Yeah, it wasn't a 60-yarder, bro.
Oh, make a chip. It's like a 40-yarder, 35.
Fucking indoors, dude. You're Will Lutz.
Yeah, come on, make the field goal.
Bo Nix threw a bad pick too. I think he got a little greedy at the end before that, but.
So this is a perfect example of what we've talked about many times. Of I don't call it a sophomore slump. I just say second year teams catch up with you. We've kind of seen that a little bit with Jaden Daniels. Like, we know what you're going to do, so we're going to try to stop it, and they may. He
played great up to that, though. To be fair,
I'm sorry.
Bo played great up to that moment,
but he wasn't great in the first game, is what I mean. Like, teams are coming up with things to bother him, is what I'm saying. He doesn't. Sure. He hasn't looked as good in these two games as he did at the end of last season, and I think that's probably because coaches have a lot of film and they're making adjustments. And now it's up to my guess is Sean Payton will make adjustments moving forward, and things will look better. It's still early in the season, but. Give credit where credit is due. Daniel Jones does it again, and I can't just say it's because they played a shitty Miami defense. Denver's one of the best defenses in the league. They get after the quarterback. He did have pressure on him and still delivered and made passes. Did he throw for over 300 yards?
I'm not sure.
If not, it was really close.
Yeah. He was playing well.
Big. Say what you want, dude.
Jonathan Taylor played well too.
He's looked really good. They ran the shit out of the ball. I was surprised. The reason I took Denver and thought they'd win this game, kind of going away, I just thought it was a real defense. I thought it was a real defense, and now Indianapolis comes back down to earth. And now we have to wonder, is this who the Colts are? It's a fair question to ask. And, again, we've said this on this podcast. If Daniel Jones was on a better team, he's one of those kind of players that, yes, he is dependent on other talent around him. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, like he's not special to where he elevates everybody else like that. But we use the example of San Francisco, if you put him on the 49ers, would he do well? I think he would. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing. Good offensive line, good running game, good offensive mind, head coach,
good enough wide receivers
and decent wide receivers and a very special tight end. And he's thriving. I'm not terribly surprised. I'm surprised at how much he's thriving for sure. But I'm not surprised that he's playing better than he has with the Giants.
That's what I was going to say, too. It makes him better. If they run the ball with Taylor like they can, it only makes him better.
Every quarterback is better with a good running game.
Yeah, and then his legs, too. It's fucking crazy.
Absolutely. You think of last year when Buffalo really made changes and they went to run the ball more, Josh Allen suddenly became more effective. He's completing a higher percentage. He's throwing more touchdowns, fewer interceptions. Why? Because the defense
more guys in the box.
Yeah. They have to respect the run. It matters. It does matter.
Super Bowl rematch in Arrowhead, Philly 20, KC 17. I did not watch a lot of this game, to be fair. I had my eyes on the Bronco game.
Not the greatest game in the world, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. I heard a little boring. Yeah. Eagles were kind of shut down again with no wide receiver game, which is a problem.
Yeah, and I don't want to only hear that the game plan was run the ball, they're running the ball effectively. You scored 20 points. Eagles. They won a game, but let's not make it like you put 36 on the board, so you're just running the clock. You threw for 100 yards and scored 20 points. That's not the game plan.
I agree.
At one point, he threw no passes more than 6 yards. Come on, man. Like Jalen Hurts. And then the name of the game was to win.
And the fact that he was so good in the Super Bowl, let him fucking throw.
We know he's capable of it, but you can't tell me how great he is, and the numbers just aren't there. We know he's capable. We've seen it. When it's needed, he can do it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be that type of team, then you don't get to also say you have a great quarterback. You don't get to do it. You know, it's the opposite is the case too. Like, would you say he's better than Dan Marino? Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl, but we know damn well Dan Marino's a better thrower of football.
Right.
You just gotta your eyes, you can see what you're seeing. Like, let's not pretend we're not seeing what we're seeing. Why aren't they doing it? I don't know. New offensive coordinator too there in Philly, right? So are we back to a situation that we saw 2 years ago?
I know.
With a new coordinator. I don't know. I'm not ready to say that just yet. On the other side of the ball, Kansas City is hurting on offense, dude.
Oof.
There's Patrick Mahomes, and then there's nothing else. The offensive line is not good. Kelsey is older. They have the wide receiver crew is not good at all. You got Andy Reid and you got Patrick Mahomes. The only reason you're even in the game is because of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes takes off for a 30-yard run for a touchdown. Or else you're not even in this ball game, dude.
It's crazy, man.
You know, there's some struggles there, and I know you mentioned them playing the Giants this weekend. I can make a case for the Giants, which maybe I'll do.
Yeah,
when
we will get there. Tough one for my buddy JJ McCarthy here. A lot going on in that game. Falcons we both like on the road, 22-6 over the Vikings. Excuse me.
Listen, you got to be fair. JJ's had 7 out of 8 bad quarters.
I'll let you do this because I'm a homer when fucking I talk about him. But yeah, listen, he said 7. But listen, it's his second start.
Yep.
He had a baby this week. He still learned the offense. He lost 3 linemen in the game, and when he was out of linemen,
awful.
Lost a running back, dude. Like the Vikings are like, it looks like.
And here's the thing: I'll give you, he's off by a little,
right?
Like he's not off by a lot,
like reps.
He's not indecisive. He's off by inches. He's off by a half a second.
It's fair.
I think to me, one of the most important things, he wasn't indecisive. Like when you have an this is something I used to see out of Zach Wilson all the fucking time. You see it at Justin Fields all the time. You see it at Caleb Williams all the time. It's the indecision. You never see it out of CJ Stroud, right? Like whatever CJ does, he bought into his decision. Makes a decision, he lives with it. There's no questioning. It doesn't seem to me, it doesn't look to me like JJ's like, oh, I don't know if I should let this go. Hesitation. No. When he decides, he lets that fucker rip. He's off by inches, not miles. So I think it will come around. So that's that.
But gonna miss a couple of weeks now, though, too.
That's which also, to be fair, also makes me a little nervous. This is not a history he had at Michigan, but this is 2 years in a row now injured.
And I didn't even see him hurt his ankle in that game. I remember I just saw him limping.
He finished the game, right?
He got stepped on. I'm like, oh, he'll be fine. Yeah. And then I don't know. Maybe they're trying to just.
The other side of it is maybe Atlanta's a little better than we gave him credit for after the Tampa game.
You gave him credit for it.
We did give him some, but they did lose, so we kind of pulled back. And by the way, the defense is looking pretty good.
Dude, those 2 rookies they traded up for to get on the
absolutely. Yes, it's making a huge difference, right? And then I'll just go back to what I've said. Michael Penix can spin it with the best in the league. I'm not saying he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league yet. I'm not there. I think he could get there. I think he could eventually be top 5, top 6.
And the longer we go in the season, they'll let him throw it more too.
It just everything he does looks good. It looks smooth. It looks right. He throws to the right guy, puts it in the right spot, puts it in a basket. Like he's got all the throws, touch, zip, you name it. It looks. It's just.
And you know who showed signs of life?
Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
somebody said that in the preseason in this thing, right?
I think you mentioned how they spent a lot of time over the summer, right? Imagine that, man. Why don't people listen to this more? So there's a lot there to like with Atlanta too. So to be fair,
I don't know if I trust the coach yet.
I don't because he's not an offensive coach, number one. But what do we always say? Get your side of the ball right, and through 2 games, that side of the ball looks pretty damn good.
Fair point, brother. Monday night, the first with a doubleheader. Phenomenal game.
Fucking Baker, man.
Dude, I love him. God damn.
Yeah, damn.
Tampa Bay 20, Houston 19. Tampa goes all the way down the field to score a touchdown. Not a field goal, folks. Score a touchdown with 1:50 to go. Oh, God.
You know what Baker's becoming? Or maybe he already is. He's clutch.
Hell yeah.
He's clutch. What was it? 4th and 10. Basically gets sacked. Fights his way through it and runs for a first down.
Gets fucking flipped over.
Body. Yeah. Bro.
I know.
I tell you what, I was a quarterback, so I don't get to say like I would want to play with him because I would want to be in his shoes. I would want to be starting. But I can only imagine if you're his teammate, dude, you got to be like, I'm rolling with this fucking guy.
I think that's clear.
You gotta, right? He'll do anything for his teammates. And now he's got the mic skills after the game and during the week to match
it's all come together.
It's a full package. God bless him. Good for him. And I say that in a sense of he was willing to grow. He wasn't so stuck in how he was doing things. He looked at himself and said, I gotta change this up. I don't want to be a journeyman. And I promise you he's not. So fantastic, but really just clutch. Not the greatest game the whole game. Like he was had his struggles, but came up big with 2 minutes left, at 80-yard drive. Phenomenal.
What happened to CJ Stroud? Not a lot of weapons there. Like
there was the weapons are diminished. The offensive line is diminished. I'm not a huge Tunsil fan, but like you did lose a starting left tackle.
Yeah, they do.
You got no running game right now. It's all on his shoulders. And as much as I like him, I would put him in a similar boat of like he needs some help. And I say that in the sense of like most of these guys do. Yeah, even Lamar Jackson needs help. All we heard every single year he's been in the league is they need to get him weapons. They need to get him weapons. Can't play like this. They need to get him weapons. So even Lamar Jackson needs help. Who are these guys that don't need help? I've yet to see them. Matt Stafford needs help. Josh Allen needs help. They had to switch to a more running game. They all need help. Who doesn't need help? Look at fucking Patrick Mahomes, one of the best we've ever seen in a game. And over the last 2 seasons, looks mediocre at best, and his statistics prove that to be true. Like everyone needs help, dude. And there's not a lot there for him to lean on for sure.
Anything to add?
I want to bring a couple things. Jets, disappointing defense through 2 games. I didn't expect much offensively. I know everybody was masturbating over Justin Fields in the first week. He showed you who he really is through 3 quarters, 3 of 11 for 27 yards. What? That's a professional quarterback? If that was my starting quarterback in high school, I would have replaced him. Mike Naviola never had a 3 for 11 for 27 yards game. Never. At 5'3", 112 pounds. Okay? So Justin Fields is who we told you he was, regardless of what you see in any one given game. I suspect he'll have another good game. Why not? He's a tremendous athlete. You know, he could have good games, but there's no consistency because he's not a great quarterback, period. But really, the defense is 2 straight games giving up over 30 points. It was a little disappointing here, especially to Buffalo coming off a huge game against Baltimore. You thought there might be a little letdown, and they got embarrassed. The other thing is, what did I write down here? Okay, so Arizona versus Carolina. Check this out, because I just wrote it in like notes, shorthand, and I'm like, what the hell? 111-0. In the history of the NFL, when a team is up by 24 points, they're 111-0 against the spread. When they're up by 24 points at some point in the game, 111-0 in the game against the spread. Until Sunday, Arizona blows a 24-point lead. They still won the game, but they didn't cover. It's the first time after 111 games.
That's crazy.
Just crazy, right? Just crazy. Funny stat. That's all I got.
Week 3, excuse me. Now, this game was going to be fantastic. Now, I don't know what to make of it. Cincinnati Bengals at the Minnesota Vikings. Backup quarterback game here. Carson Wentz against... who's Browning? Jake Browning? What's his
Jake
first
Browning,
name?
yeah.
Jake Browning. Minnesota has injuries all over the place. Cincinnati just basically has Burrow out. That's a huge. Yeah, I mean, Burrow out.
Fair.
I mean, yeah, that's.
Well, I think the point you're getting to is which backup has more at his disposal to make up for him.
Cincinnati 2-0. They both have weapons galore, but I think Cincinnati has more now because with Addison out, Hockenson looks shot to shit. Running game looks a little
because they're missing 3 stars on the offensive line. That's problematic.
They're missing
that's
they're missing a safety and a linebacker too. The Vikings are fucking banged up, man.
They're banged up. Where's this game?
It's in Minnesota.
It is.
The Vikings need this game more to stay kind of, floating up top with the 2-0 Packers, 1-1 Lions. Obviously they look better. I have no feel at this game. This is a game
I don't either.
I'm not touching with anything on this.
Because in the end, I just, I've always said this about Carson Wentz. The dude can fucking sling it. So if he just happens to have one of those days against a bad defense, by the way, it's very possible at home. I'm just.
But he does hold on to the ball a lot too.
Yeah, I'm not saying I expect it. I'm just saying to your point, like this is one of those games I would never bet this because there's just way too many unpredictable variables here. So
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Minnesota, like, if you have any hope, like, you need this game because it's a home game, against backup quarterback, regardless of the fact that you have a backup. If you both have a backup and you're at home, you're thinking we should win this game. We need to win this game. So,
agreed. Yeah, maybe muddy it up a little bit. Like, just win the fucking thing, like 15-9.
Figure it out. Lean on Brian Flores needs to really come up with a huge game plan here. Let's keep Cincinnati 17 points or less, and we got a chance to win the game. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. We got to find a way to keep them at 17 or less.
Great game here in Philly. They host the LA Rams.
Yeah.
2-0 teams. Long travel day for the Rams. 1:00 kick. Philly in a battle last week. A little, tough one.
Yeah.
With the Chiefs. Late game. They probably went back and back again, right? It's probably KC's not that far from LA, but it's
the game's I think it's in Philly.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is in Philly.
It's in Philly.
Right.
Okay.
Who did LA do last week? Oh, they were in Tennessee. That's what I meant. They were in Tennessee.
Right. So they had to go back to LA.
Had to go back and forth.
Back east. I don't know if they did that. I don't know what their travel schedule was. I don't love it if they did that, but
we both like the Rams, but I think this is a tough spot for the Rams.
I for that reason, it's a tough spot. Plus, it's a West Coast team coming east. Is it a 1:00 or 4:00?
1:00 kick.
Yeah, that's just tough because that's for them. That's playing 10:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
After traveling potentially. Again, we're not sure about the travel schedule, what they decided to do. If they stayed east, I like it better. With that said, I feel like there's something a little off right now with the Eagles. They're not like clicking. I don't feel like Saquon Barkley is like the 2,000-yard back right now. And I'm not saying that's on him. Maybe that's on the line. Maybe that's on play calling. We mentioned that new offensive coordinator, so they're not like humming. I think AJ Brown has 6 receptions for like 27 yards through the first 2 games. Not good. It seems odd to me that they really haven't taken any shots, like real shots. Devontae Smith had one kind of deeper shot, a little bit, but that was about it. So I feel like there's a little something off. I don't know if it's Super Bowl hangover. I don't know if it's OC. I don't know if it's both. Maybe it is. 2 tough openers, even though it was Dallas, it's a division rival. So on Monday night primetime, you're going to get their best, especially first game of season. So maybe that's what it is, and maybe they're fine. I got a feeling Rams are going to keep this one really close. If you look even back to last year in the snow in the playoffs, the Rams kind of had a really good chance of winning that game. It's not like they're not capable of hanging in there with the Eagles. I think this is going to be a really good game. I'm just going to say, I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Rams pulled off the upset here and won the game outright in Philly.
Do I smell a bet? No.
I couldn't remember.
The 2-0 Arizona Cardinals at the 2-0 San Francisco 49ers.
So strange, right? So strange. I just mentioned how they cough up a 24-point lead, still win the game, but that's not how you want to finish games. And then, the Mac Jones thing, can he continue? And I don't see why he can't, because it's not like Arizona's like some juggernaut on defense. So, and it's in San Francisco, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Fascinating game. Kyler Murray, the ultimate enigma. You never know what you're going to get from week to week from him. You never know what you're going to get from half to half and quarter to quarter. So I think I kind of lean San Francisco. There's a reason everybody thought Mac Jones was going number 3 overall to the San Francisco 49ers, and it's because we all kind of agreed, whether you like Mac Jones or not, he fits Shanahan's style, more cerebral, less about the physical, more about the mind, and he fits. And then I'll just say there's a reason they brought him in, which is because he fits. So, and he looked really good last week, which shocked the shit out of me. So I think you get a good game out of Mac Jones, and San Francisco finds a way to win this game.
Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers.
I gotta be honest with you, man. Right now, I'm not sure what to think of Denver. Defensively, they disappointed me last week. And until I see Bo Nix like consistently and now you're playing a Chargers defense, which maybe more than anything, their D-backs are sticky as fuck, dude. They don't let anybody get open. Good. So until I see that from Denver and from Bo Nix, see a little more better running game. And frankly, defense needs to play a little better. I mean, that maybe is the bigger disappointment. The defense kind of let them down last week. Even though you missed the field goal in that game, they let Indy drive down. Not too far to kick a long field goal, but still they drove down.
To me, Sean Payton's got to be better, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do with Bo Nix.
Well, like I said, maybe they're starting, you're getting looks that you weren't getting last year against Bo Nix because teams are making adjustments to him. So now Sean Payton, who I think is an excellent offensive coach, one of the tops in the league, he'll make adjustments too. So I would expect Bo Nix to look better as the week go on. I just don't know that this is the week for that.
I have a question for you too. Did you kidnap Evan Ingram? What the fuck happened to this guy?
I don't know. Yeah.
It's going to be a great fucking acquisition. And then where the fuck is he? What?
Yeah. No, I know. It's a fair question.
Joker this, Joker that. But you draft RJ Harvey. You're playing J.K. Dobbins more. And you looked okay. But he doesn't have any explosiveness anymore.
Nope. Yeah, it's fair questions.
Wide receivers are playing better. Sutton, you got two guys emerging with Franklin and
Franklin looks really nice.
Yeah, Franklin. Yeah, they
really nice
in college, but he's coming together now.
There was one drive he made all the catches on the one drive.
Looks pretty good. Let's go, Sean. Get this shit together now.
Yeah, I would say I don't know if this is the week for it because I just think the Chargers are really good.
I hear
you,
buddy.
I would expect things to improve. He's just too good a coach, and I think Bo Nix is too smart and works too hard. They'll figure it out. I just don't know that this is the week to figure it out. Chargers are really good, dude. Wow, Chargers are really good. And what you're seeing, Justin Herbert with the guidance of Harbaugh is at least, again, only through 2 games, but at least right now you're getting the best version of Justin Herbert. No mistakes. Dude, when he throws the ball down the field, it looks like a fucking Scud missile, man. Like it's just, like it's got a vapor trail on it.
Remember that old Vortex football you had?
Yeah. He can really fucking throw it, man.
Is he really running too much for your, like, if you're a Chargers fan and a Herbert fan? Like,
yes, but, if he's protecting himself, then it's one thing. He's a big, strong kid. He's a big, strong dude.
The injury history scares the shit out of you.
It's fair. That is fair, sir.
Sunday night in the swamp of the Meadowlands, the Kansas City Chiefs at 0-2 play the New York Giants at 0-2.
I have this game written down because I think this is I can't believe I'm saying this. This is a must win for Kansas City. And I don't know that it's a layup. I don't think it's a layup because I actually do think the Giants have a decent defense and now you're on the road.
Giants home opener at night, they're going to be buzzing, dude.
Yeah, it's a decent defense. And to be fair, Kansas City's offense stinks. It stinks. So this is not the layup that we would normally think over the last couple of years. I still expect the Chiefs to find a way to win because I just think because the Chiefs have a good defense and the Giants offense is not what it's going to be against Dallas. So I expect the Chiefs to win, but I'm just saying it's not a layup. And if they lose this game, holy shitballs, forget about it, right? 0-3. You went to the Super Bowl last year, and now you're 0-3. Holy shit! So I think it's a must-win, and I think Kansas City finds a way to win, to win the game. But I think it's tough for a while.
Ugly. Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Tough for a while. The funny thing is, I used to say this all the time about Tiger Woods after his prime, when Rory came around and Jordan came around, and some of these other guys. They weren't afraid of Tiger anymore. They wanted a piece of his ass. They wanted to take a bite out of Tiger because hey, he's weak and let's stomp on his throat. And I bet you I would be willing to bet that the Giants all week this week in practice are this is not the Kansas City Chiefs that we've seen in years past. This is not the juggernaut. This is not the team that's going to come in here and run us all out of the stadium. Let's go. Let's get a piece of their ass. Let's beat them. We can do this. I just think there's something to that, right? They're not Mike Tyson anymore. Tyson's been knocked out. He's already been hit by Buster Douglas. Now everybody wants to beat his ass too. He's not unbeatable anymore. And I think that's how a lot of teams this year are looking at Kansas City, and they want to be one of the teams that beats them.
Steven Willenchek says he's going to bet at 8-10 on Sunday night. Come on, man. Be a fan. Have some faith. Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens.
Fun game. But here's one thing I'll point out. If you look historically, since Lamar Jackson has been the starting quarterback with the Baltimore Ravens, NFC teams who come to play Baltimore struggle.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it is just because they don't play him very often. They don't see him very often. And if you look around the league, there's nobody else like him. So, and if you look just a couple years ago, Detroit went in there and got their fucking doors blown off. So this is a really tough spot for Detroit. I think Detroit showed last week that they're still talented. They're still good. They can still do a lot of good things, put a 50 spot up on the board against Chicago. I just think this is a tough ask. Now, maybe it's an advantage that they just played him a couple years ago. Dan Campbell was there. Jared Goff was there. So maybe they can use that experience to play better this time. Baltimore, outside of like coughing the bit up against Buffalo in the final couple minutes, has looked really fucking good. So I think this is a really, really tough spot for.
I agree. I have a tough time thinking in my head how Detroit's going to hang around in this game.
I'd love to see it because you just want a good game, especially on Monday night. But I think it's a tough spot. I think it's really tough. I think Detroit is fine, by the way. Like I think Detroit is fine. I just think this is a tough spot for anybody. Like I don't care if this was Green Bay going to Baltimore. I think Baltimore would still be favored, and I think
Philly too. Philly would struggle too.
Yeah, I would take Baltimore against any of those teams at home on a Monday night like that against Lamar.
Anything else,
I got one that I just want to point out. It's a very minor game, or at least theoretically. Atlanta goes to Carolina. They're 1-1 right now. You know, we kind of got these good vibes about Atlanta. Michael Penix looks good. This is going to be the first game of the season that's outdoor on the grass. He's on the road against a bad team, 0-2 team. It's not a must win in the sense of like, if you want to be a contender, but it's a must win to say, yeah, we are good. Like a good team goes into Carolina and beats them by 10 and gets out of there with a win. And, good quarterback does that too. So to me, this is like it's kind of a pressure game for Atlanta in the sense of show us who you are. Show where you was last week just because JJ was hurt and there's injuries on Minnesota. Are you the typical Atlanta, or are you really a good team? If you're really a good team, this is a game you win by 10.
And not a huge travel day, so I think they'll be fine in that aspect.
Right, exactly.
College football. Peter, did you ponder my question at all?
Yeah. So I'm going to give Lagway a little bit of a break because he's still relatively young.
You are.
I'm not going to give him a break for 5 interceptions. But I'm just saying, like, what was your original question?
Who looked worse?
Well, who looked worse this week, or who's looking worse overall right now?
Well, that's up to you. It's your answer,
so
baby.
I'm just looking as the overall. I'm going to give Lagway a little bit of a break because he's younger.
And he played against LSU on the road.
And it was LSU on the road. It's just a tough spot. But 5 interceptions is brutal.
But it's almost like he played with an eye patch. Fucking
it was brutal, man. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen those, like, for basketball, they have those glasses where you can't see your hands. You learn how to dribble. Yeah, he just had them straight over his eyes. Sometimes just chuck and duck. But I'll give him a little break just because he's young and that's a tough spot. Klubnik, come on, man.
My God.
It's just bad. Like, this is bad. And he hasn't played well yet. That's the other thing. Like, he hasn't had a great game yet. So, and Sellers, I'm not sure what to think there because I don't know how good the whole team is. Like, as good as any guy is, you need players around you with football. So and you mentioned this last week. Like, you were just not sure how good the Gamecocks are. So, and that's real. So to me, I would put it more on Klubnik. And what's so fascinating, and maybe we'll talk about Texas too, like you look and you say, well, before the season started, top 2 guys like that everyone thought were going to be like the first 2 quarterbacks picked in the draft were Klubnik and Arch Manning. And I don't know that either one of them is even going. Well, first of all, Arch Manning, we'll get to that if you want, but he's not even a consideration right now. He's not even a real college quarterback right now, in my opinion. But Klubnik is not even a first-round pick anymore.
No.
Now that can change moving forward. He can put up insane numbers moving forward, but right now, dude, he's missing guys that are wide open, like overthrowing them, underthrowing them.
Yep,
he's really bad.
Yeah,
like for a guy who we're talking as a first-round pick, and like this
has been there forever in the same offense. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like exactly. So he's been the biggest disappointment to me so far. Plus, this team was supposed to be really good. This was a top 5 preseason team, and they stank. They stink. So
to the swamp, not the swamp, to Death Valley, but
Death
DJ
Valley.
Lagway.
Yeah.
LSU 20, Florida 10. Ugly game. Thank God the A&M Notre Dame game was on. This game was horrible. This game was
that was a fun game, by the way, if you want to talk about that one. But It's a great win for LSU. They look good. And what's the most important thing to me for LSU is their national championship hopes are still alive. And the reason why is this. If you were LSU coming into the season and you knew that your offense was going to be the part of your game that was struggling a little bit, but your defense was like top shit, like really good, you'd be like, okay, we'll work with that, because I feel like you got an elite quarterback and some real weapons, and you got a really good offensive coach. Brian Kelly will figure this out on offense. They're going to be fun. You're going to tell me they got a top 10 defense right now? That's what makes them dangerous. I don't care who they're playing. If they got top 10 defense, that's what makes them dangerous, because that offense will come around. There's just too much goodness there.
Well, the magic carpet ride ends for the South Florida Bulls. Miami 49, South Florida 12.
I put a video out yesterday talking about how the U is back. So is Florida State, but the U is back. There was a lot of talk. We were hoping to see the upset. Could South Florida continue it? And there was an emphatic no by Carson Beck. Was it Carson Beck? Yeah, Carson Beck. That defense, they're fucking fast. That defense looks like old school Miami defense. They're fast and physical. And they got weapons, and they got a really good quarterback.
That's a Mario Cristobal defense right there.
Yeah, they're a legitimate, at least to my viewing, they're a legitimate top 5, top 6 national championship contender. Like, they are legit national championship contenders right now, as I see and I look around the country. So yeah, really good right now. Cristobal find a way to blow a game or something like that.
Yep.
He scares the shit out of me. But listen, if they're going to keep winning by 20, it won't matter.
He'll lose the pit on like a Thursday night or some shit.
Oh, man. And I thought it was funny. I had to really search through my streaming app to find the fucking game on the CW, because nobody thought this was going to be an interesting game before the season started.
I hope Florida State and Miami both stay
undefeated.
That game's going to be awesome, bro.
Oh, it's like a throwback, man. Yeah.
Second best rivalry maybe out there. Third, if you after Michigan, Ohio State.
Well, when they're both good, it is. Yeah. There was a time.
Yeah.
There was a time in the 90s. I don't even think were you even born yet? If you were, you're a baby.
Yeah.
It was bigger than Ohio State, Michigan, because they were both more in the national championship picture. And at the time, both Michigan and Ohio State didn't have great coaches. And they were still good, but they weren't the powerhouses they are now, the elite talents. Florida State, Miami was up there with Duke, North Carolina in college basketball. Like, those were the elite, rivalries in college sports, period. And end of story.
Game of the week. Unbelievable game. Mr. Mangano, please put your pants back on. Georgia 44, Tennessee 41. Bro. Heupel and the Volunteers cannot get over the hump.
It's all on Heupel. This one's all on Heupel, though.
Oh.
I don't want to use the word dominated, but here's what I saw in this game. I saw Georgia go on long, difficult, hard drives to score, and then Tennessee gets the ball back and scores in 4 plays in a minute and 16 seconds.
Yeah.
And it happened over and over and over again. Georgia earned all their points. Tennessee took all their points. They were more aggressive. They looked faster. They looked better until the fourth quarter. And suddenly Josh Heupel's testicles just got sucked all the way up into his stomach.
Yeah.
You're not throwing a ball. You're trying to run the ball, settling for 50-yard field goals at the end with plenty of time.
I don't get it, man.
You had all the time in the world to move the ball. Well, can't you just move it down there 10, 15, 20 more yards? It's not like Georgia was putting up a fight. Georgia couldn't stop Tennessee.
I like that kid Aguilar too, man.
He looks nice. This was the greatest trade in the history of college football. And I'll bring that up in a minute. Aguilar looks good. And, bro, he throws a deep ball as good as anybody in college football. And they got guys that can go down there and get it. Mm-hmm. Like, what the hell were you thinking? You just lost your guts, man. You coughed a bit and you lost. And, frankly, those players did not deserve to lose that game. The coach did. And you know me, I like Josh Heupel a lot. I think he's a really good coach, really good recruiter, really good offensive coach. Man, he blew it. He blew it. And you know me, I don't like doing that. I'm not one to rag on coaches. Like, players play. This is on the coach, man. This was on the coach 100%. And it made me sad. It really made me sad because they had it. They had it.
Yep.
By the way, the quarterback for Georgia, I do like him. He's still young.
I texted you like him, bro. A lot of balls on that kid.
Yeah. He's a baller. He's a player. He's not afraid. I wish he was coaching Tennessee at the end of that game. Tennessee would have won.
Oh.
How about that?
Game I mentioned before, heartbreaker in South Bend. The 0-2 Irish. 41 for the Aggies, 40 for the Irish. Now, there was a call at the end of this game that was missed. I don't know if you saw it.
I did not see that.
I'm going to send this to you when we get off the podcast.
Okay.
I know it does us no good now, but the right A&M's down, I don't know, I guess 5. 4th and whatever. They throw up, I think it's like 28 yards, whatever it was, to the end zone for a touchdown. The right guard tackles.
Oh, so bad holding. Yeah.
And it gets ignored, whatever.
I'm not trying to excuse it. That happens all the time.
It happens all the time. I totally agree with you.
For one guy to watch 10,
Totally agree with you.
But it sucks. If you're Notre Dame, it fucking sucks.
But also, do Notre Dame put the game away. So here's my issue with Notre Dame. CJ Carr has looked every bit of great or very solid.
Yeah.
The defense and the running game.
Absolutely. The things you thought they were leaning on. Yeah.
Now, I don't think they'll lose another game.
Well, they do have to play USC, and there's no good reason to think that they'll beat USC right now.
They have to play USC, but it also is at home. If they lose another one, there's no way they should go to the playoff.
What are they now? They 0-2?
0-2?
Yeah. We'll see how good USC is by the time they play them.
And we'll see where A&M ends up, too. If A&M's a top 10 team, maybe it gives them more.
It's a better loss. And if they do run the table, then you can go there. But the problem is they just don't have a lot of games on the board left that you can point to and be like, this is why they deserve to be in the playoffs. Now, if they play USC and USC is still undefeated, having gone through parts of the Big Ten, and then they beat them, okay, that would be fair. A top 12, top 10 ranked USC team, okay, then we have something to talk about. But I think that's going to be hard. And the also reason I think it's going to be hard is because this is not a clear, there's not a clear front runner this year or two. Right. It's pretty wide open right now in college football, which means there's a lot of teams that can make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, you might have to fight through South Florida to make the playoffs. A one-loss South Florida team, because I wouldn't be shocked if they ran the table now, and they got better wins on their plate already than Notre Dame will have all season. Yeah. So, and even their one loss right now is a pretty good fucking loss. You lost to like a top 5 team in the country. So South Florida right now is a better argument for making the playoffs than Notre Dame does. So that's the problem, is like, if you were top heavy, like if Ohio State and Georgia were undefeated or something like that, and you're like, they're clearly the best, then you gotta, it's a different argument. But it's so wide open right now, it's tough. Who you taking to play? You don't even have an argument over like Ole Miss right now. You don't have an argument over SMU, even though they looked like shit this weekend. So it's going to be tough for Notre Dame, really tough.
We mentioned this game before. Georgia Tech 24, Clemson 21. This guy at Georgia Tech can coach, and that quarterback from Georgia Tech has fucking massive onions.
He's got their coach has a real Dan Campbell feel. Like, that's
a good call.
He just like evokes an emotion from his players, because make no mistake, Georgia Tech is not as talented as Clemson. They're just not. But they play balls to the wall, the old all gas, no brakes. They lay it on a line for their coach. And yes, their quarterback also, because he plays, no holds barred, let her rip, whatever happens, happens, give up your body, everything. They're a fun team to watch. They're well coached, but they're just highly motivated. And that's a cool thing to see these days, where it's not so much about the money. It's about like your brothers next to you pulling off upsets. It's a hell of a thing. He's built a nice little program.
He does 1 or 2 a year. He pulls an upset. So it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And they were bad before he got there. Bad. It got bad.
If they play Florida State or Miami, watch out.
Yeah, it should be fun. It could be fun, And frankly, at the other side, if both of those teams blast Georgia Tech, then that even legitimizes them even more.
No doubt. You have anything else?
A couple things real quick. Colorado lost to Houston 36-20. I think it's going to be a long season for Colorado. Things are looking rough. I mentioned earlier, UCLA 15.5-point favorites at home on Friday night. I think they had about 3,500 people in the stands. They didn't cover the 15.5. They didn't win the game. And it wasn't even close. They lost by 25 to New Mexico. Now, I did point out that New Mexico played Michigan tough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's friggin' New Mexico, okay? You're friggin' UCLA. You don't lose by 25 at home as two touchdown favorites. And shockingly enough, their coach got fired. And frankly, it took too long. Guy couldn't put a sentence together. How do you go to Big Ten Day where you're going to give a speech and you don't have a speech? Like, come on, man. You got to do a little better than that. Texas Tech. I think the score was 45-0. The final score was 45-14. $30 million buys you a lot of talent. Baron Morton looks really great when he's throwing to studs. And more than anything, for the first time in my lifetime, I mentioned this last week, Texas Tech has at least what looks like a legitimate defense. I don't know how good it is until they play some better teams, and they have a really good, fun game coming up this weekend. But, man, did they look good, and I just pat myself on the back a little for that one. Mm-hmm. And finally, I just bring up Texas 27-10 over UTEP. Arch Manning. He's a prodigy.
Generational talent.
He's generational talent. Heisman Trophy, first pick in the draft. Morons. This is against UTEP, folks. I think at home against UTEP. He could have played lefty and would have put up better numbers than this. 11 of 25. Can anybody say Justin Fields? 11 of 25, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Bro, no bueno, as they say down on the border. No bueno. Not good. Again, I'm not telling you he's never going to be good. I'd be more likely to bet money that he will eventually be good. He's got too many people around him that know how to play quarterback. They're going to figure this out. But he's slow on his reads. He misses layups. I mean, easy throws.
I know.
And he hesitates. We were just talking before about J.J. McCarthy, how he does it. Whatever is going wrong, it's by inches, not miles, because he's decisive. He lets it rip. It's just not getting where he wants it to go right now. So there's work to be done. Arch is wildly indecisive. We thought it was only against Ohio State because Ohio State's so good. No, they're not. He's just not ready. He's just not ready. He's clearly not ready. So,
well, I think Grandpa Arch knew something, Archie, that he's coming back next year. I think that's a guarantee.
Yeah, he said it had. Oh, well, come on, yeah. Unless you want to be Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, I'm sure somebody would take a shot at him in the second or third round, but it would probably, at this point, it'd probably be a mistake. And I think you're right. The family is smart enough to say, don't do it. Yeah. Don't make that mistake. Don't rush this. It's not a money issue, so don't rush it.
Sark's a pretty good offensive mind, right?
Very.
Do you think he stays at Texas or goes somewhere else in the transfer portal?
Arch?
Yeah. If Ryan Day called.
If you didn't transfer, why? Why would you do that? Like, what do you think you're gaining? You're gaining more talent? No. You're gaining a better offensive coach? No. Like, there's plenty of talent. There's plenty of money in Texas. Like,
just a question.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't, because people do things that I wouldn't all the time. So who's listening to me, right? But I don't see the point in it. Like, he's not sitting behind anybody. There's nobody behind him that's going to start instead of him, I don't think. That would almost be professional suicide by Sarkisian if you're going to bench Arch Manning, right? If you're going to bench one of the Manning boys, you're just asking to get fired. So, yeah, I don't see the reason why, but it's certainly not money. I'm sure he's getting plenty of NIL money, so it's not that. So what would be your reason? We're not doing well? Then you're basically saying you suck. If you were to leave in this situation, if he were to leave, what you're saying is I'm not good enough. I need better, I don't know what around me, because it's there already. It's already there in Texas. Now, I will be fair. I was trying to be fair in the first couple games. Like, their offensive line is rebuilt. They sent a lot of guys to the NFL in graduation. But you can't use that excuse against Texas El Paso. It just doesn't work. So, no.
I hear you, brother. Week 4. You mentioned it before. Number 17, your Texas Tech Red Raiders
Huge.
At the 16th ranked Utah Utes. Be careful.
True test.
Sleepy game, 12 o'clock kick, which is what? 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
a.m.
local.
out in Utah? Is that suicide? What are we doing out there, boys?
I know. I don't know what's up with that. But the Mormons are up early in the morning, so.
Oh my goodness! You got to feed all your wives.
True test. I'm not sure because Utah's a really
pregame meal. 5 a.m.
Probably, actually, yeah. Probably 6 o'clock, yeah.
Bloody Mary's frowned upon?
Utah's good. Utah's a good football team, and they're getting some really good quarterback play. I forget where he's transferring in from. Damn it, I just heard it today, too.
I don't remember.
Son of a bitch. But regardless, he's playing really well, and they're playing good defense. And look, Utah's always really good. Like, they're always solid. They're always deep.
State or something like that?
I just don't remember. I don't think it was San Diego State, but I don't remember. But he's playing well, and they're happy because they've been dealing with a guy who every single year has been on a medical hardship. So now you got, hopefully a guy who stays healthy. So, yeah, this will be a really fun game, really interesting game, and it'll be a much better barometer for us to see where Texas Tech is at.
Yeah. Number 22, Auburn at number 11, Oklahoma.
Yeah, sneaky good game, right? We probably wouldn't have thought this was a good game like 3 weeks ago, but it's a huge game, actually. I think, is Auburn undefeated right now?
Yes.
Yeah, so 2 undefeated teams. Mateer is just probably the most fun player to watch in college football right now. I was pretty impressed with Oklahoma last week, not because they beat Temple, but because they didn't have the letdown that I think that you and I both. Yeah, that you was your pick, but I kind of agreed with you. So, and maybe because he's a little bit of a wild hair, that's why they don't have the letdown, because he's not that kind of player. So I kind of like Oklahoma in this game, but I think it's going to be a more interesting game than people realize. But it's a bigger game than we thought, just because I don't think anyone thought that either of these teams was going to be very good this year.
Number 21, Michigan goes to Lincoln, Nebraska, and play the Cornhuskers.
Dude, this is a tough game for Michigan, man.
I think it's a tough game for both because you know why?
Well,
you can look at
it is for Nebraska.
You can look at it both ways, right? So I'll go Nebraska angle first. We've waited years
to be better,
for them to try to get over the top here, beat a ranked team. It's been like I think 8 years since beat a ranked team. You finally got one that's a little vulnerable, freshman quarterback, no head coach. Lincoln's a tough place to play.
It is. That place will be going bananas. 90,000 people.
Everybody's been blowing Dylan Raiola since he's been a junior in high school. Everybody blows Matt Rule. Year 3 Matt Rule, Nebraska. What a schedule.
Listen to you. Listen
to
you.
I'm just saying.
Blowing. Everybody's getting blown here. This is unbelievable.
Except me and you, apparently, right now.
That's for sure. If anybody out there is offering,
Biff Poggi, my man, interim head coach of Michigan. The guy's just fun, bro. He's like,
so the head coach is out this week.
Marone's out the second week.
Oh, I love my pick. I love my pick in this game.
You got the Cornhuskers again?
I'm not saying right now.
Wow. I actually like Michigan this game because I think the Oklahoma game, I liked Oklahoma in. I think this one's a little different because now we see Bryce playing fucking Mr. Athlete and not just sitting back to pass and let's run the ball. Let's be Jim Harbaugh, Michigan. I think they know what I said last week. You got a Mustang. Let it rev a little bit.
Let them go a little bit, yeah.
I think they kind of figured out. Again, you got to be careful. Like Justin Herbert, you don't want to run around the midfield, Baker Mayfield getting flipped in the air, that kind of shit. But let's be smart.
I say tough game. The reason I say tough game is because we know Michigan's a better program than Nebraska right now. I think it's fair to say Michigan, even at this point, still has significantly better talent overall than Nebraska right now. But one team is kind of treading water and one team is trying to come up. And like you're saying, there's a monster target on Michigan's back right now. And if anybody's smelling blood because of what happened in Oklahoma, it only gives Nebraska more confidence at home to feel like they can pull off the upset. That's what I mean by tough game. I think Michigan's a better team still, even though I do think Matt Rule's done a really good job at developing this program. I just don't think they're there yet. But that doesn't mean they can't win this game because I do think it's just a tough spot. I think it's a tough spot for Michigan.
I don't disagree. Tough spot, I think, but I like it better that we went to Oklahoma and had our learning.
Probably helps. Yeah, you're right. It probably helps. Like, we've been in this atmosphere. Your quarterback has been in this atmosphere. Frankly, he wasn't the problem. He didn't buckle under the pressure of the atmosphere.
That's what I like. He did not. Right.
So so if there was any early shock for him, that probably won't happen here. I just think you're going to, I mean, obviously, what am I, Captain Obvious here? You're going to get a wildly motivated Nebraska team. You're going to get their best. You know,
I like that it's not night. I like that it's an afternoon game. That
helps a little bit. And I think Michigan probably, if they can get a turnover or two early in this game and quiet that crowd, then that changes everything. You know, if you get a first quarter turnover, interception, fumble, or something like that, it could change everything and really just put a damper on the crowd.
I can't believe I'm saying this, dude. Game of the week. Number 9, Illinois at number 19. Indiana.
Incredible, right? Incredible. Indiana also has a transfer playing for them.
Mendoza?
Yeah, and he's been lighting it up. You know, Indiana has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because last year, a lot of people, when they ended up losing their playoff game, thought they didn't belong there. I think that's a little unfair. You play your schedule, you beat the teams that are on your schedule. That schedule's made like 4 years in advance, so it's not like they even knew there was going to be a 12-team playoff going into that season. And there was plenty of other teams that played like shit in the playoffs last year. So I think they got a little chip on their shoulder. And I think after doing a little more of a dive into Illinois, they might be a little overrated. If you look at that Duke game, which they ended up just spiking the ball on Duke, they actually were outgained in that game, and not by a little. Duke outgained them, outplayed them, except for the fact that they had a number of turnovers. And I feel like Illinois a little bit this season has been relying on turnovers, relying on big plays, not so much outplaying your opponent, but making more plays, which, hey, that's the way it goes. I just think now you're up against a pretty solid team. They got dudes on Indiana, man. He has done a good job either with the transfer portal and or with recruiting.
Yeah.
Indiana is a good football team, dude. So to me, I don't know, is this one of the main games I did? I did have a little something on this one. So I'll give you my pick on the game in a little bit. But I think it's going to be a really fun and interesting game. The Big Ten right now, to me, is actually, there's an argument to make that they're the most interesting and deep, talented conference in the country right now.
I don't have much to say about this game. I just want to point out the kickoff time. Michigan State at USC, 11 p.m. Eastern.
11 p.m. Have fun.
That's
good luck, Michigan State. You're used to playing 12 o'clock games.
You better take a nap.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Peter, can I have some music?
I just wanted to point out one other game.
Fuck, you're pointing out shit.
Sam Houston at Texas. Do I think Sam Houston can even put up a fight? No. What I want to see,
Arch be better.
If I'm Steve Sarkisian this entire week, I'm saying, dude, go out there and let it rip. I don't care if you throw 7 interceptions because we're still going to win the game. Go out there and let it rip. Be decisive. Make your read, throw the ball. Like, enough with the pitter-patter, enough with the I'm not sure. I want to see Arch Manning go out there and let it rip. That's a coaching point that I'm kind of pointing out to Steve Sarkisian, which I think he's a really good coach, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what you see, but that's what you need to see. I don't care. Let the fucking ball fly, make a decision, and let it rip. So that's all. That was the only one. The other one was the Michigan-Nebraska game for me. Do you want some music, man?
All right, so last week, I was 2-2-1. Got a push in the Florida game. I don't know how. I could have even won that game outright, or I could have lost by 25.
You kind of got the backdoor cover there, yeah.
4-7-1 for the season. Peter, you were 2-3 last week, your first losing week.
Yeah.
7-5 for the year still, though. You're doing well. I will start us off this week.
We start with the NFL?
No.
College football, of course.
Go back to normal here, you clown car. Auburn undefeated. Hugh Freeze, he's got a reputation being a little bit of a funny bone. I saw Oklahoma personally beat Michigan pretty good. Good line of scrimmage on both sides. Heisman maybe favorite right now as we look things. Until Auburn beats a good team or hangs around against a good team, I'm not taking them. We've seen this movie before with a bunch of coaches. Oklahoma -6.5. You're telling me I can win by a touchdown? I like it. I like Mateer. They didn't fuck around last week. They did not play with their food. They handled the Temple Owls. They come back home. SEC game. Oklahoma -6.5.
That was one of my picks. But luckily, I
You
had
got
3.
more.
So I will not take that one.
Nebraska minus +2.5 against Michigan.
Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I got to do this one. I don't even like it, but I have been giving hand jobs down in Lubbock, Texas for the first few weeks of the season. I have no choice here. I feel like just out of just what's the loyalty, I'm going to pull the trigger on this one. I'm a little surprised here. Texas Tech only getting 3.5 at Utah. I would have thought it would have been more just because of Utah's reputation, but I think that says something about Texas Tech. So give me Texas Tech. I kind of like the number here. Texas Tech plus 3.5 at Utah. I think they might win it outright, but I don't love it. But because you took Oklahoma, I'm going to go with it.
Peter, are you a donor? You have TT on the back of your black shirt and red?
If I had $5, I would donate it. I don't think it would make a difference in their $30 million budget this year, but I do like Baron Morton. I think he is a legit top elite quarterback. He's got a fucking cannon for an arm. There's a lot of weapons there. And I think they're going to score. They're loaded. They scored last year when they didn't have a $30 million budget. I want to see, is this defense legit? That's the real question I have. You're playing a real team now. Is the defense as good as it's looked over the first couple weeks?
To the Apple Cup, a game that will go away.
Is this Illinois, Indiana?
No.
Thank God.
It's Washington State.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Washington isn't, I mean, they're good. They're not a powerhouse. Washington State rivalry game getting 19.5 points at home.
That's a lot. They're pretty bad, though.
I'll take a risk there. Maybe buy it up a couple points. Maybe get 3 full touchdowns. Maybe take it first half. But we don't do first halves here. I'll take the Cougars first half. I'll take for the game. 19.5 points at home against Washington.
I don't hate that one. Because frankly, Washington's a funny program, man. Like, we look at them as like one of the solid programs, but they're kind of like good 2 years out of every decade. They're just a weird team where, like, whatever, they have a 2-year run and then they're mediocre for 8 years and then they get another 2-year run. It's just a weird program out there in the Pacific Northwest. We mentioned this game, Indiana versus Illinois. Illinois, I'm not going to go as far as saying they've been doing with smoke and mirrors, but they haven't been winning the line of scrimmage like I thought they would this year. And like I pointed out, Duke actually significantly outgained them in yardage in this game. They just turned the ball over too much. That game was close through almost 3 quarters, and Illinois pulled away late with a lot of turnovers. Indiana is really good. They got NFL wide receivers. They got a potential NFL quarterback who is playing. Who knew who he even was? He's playing one of the best in the country right now. I like Indiana in this game, so give me Indiana minus the 5.5 over Illinois. And this is actually like my best bet of the week. Like, I really like Indiana a lot in this game.
Wow.
I really like them a lot. Like, really like them a lot.
Oh, that's the
5.5 at home. I think they win by double digits. I really do.
Wow. Okay. To the NFL we go. I don't want to say must win. But they blew a game. It's kind of a must win. They blew a game last week. Schedule's tough. Division's tough. Conference is even tougher. The Denver Broncos, if they're going to be a playoff team and live up to the hype that everyone was blowing them in the offseason here, defensive additions, coaching staff intact, Evan Ingram, good draft, blah, blah, blah. You got to go out and get the Chargers. They have no home field advantage out there. They just lost their star defensive player with a broken elbow, dislocated elbow.
That's a big deal.
Short week. Come on, Broncos. Go get one here. Surprise the world here. Go get Jimmy. Stick it up his ass. Broncos 23, Chargers 20. Give me the Broncos plus 2.5 points.
My father used to always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. I'll leave it at that for you, my friend, the Denver Broncos fan. I am heading out to Tennessee.
Hold on. You know I never take the Broncos.
I am heading out to Tennessee.
You fucking gray-haired bastard.
I am heading out to Tennessee.
Oh, so you want to make fun of my picks? Okay.
The Colts are 2-0. and they're 2-0 at home. I'm watching Cam Ward, and I'm like, they got something with this kid. There's a little something there that you're like, this guy's going to turn this program around. This guy's going to make this program real. He has flashes. They always tell you, never throw, when you're rolling one way, you never throw back to the middle. You never throw back to the middle. You never throw back, unless you're Cam Ward and you throw back across your body when rolling right and you throw a touchdown pass. There's something there. I don't know if they win this game, but the Colts can't keep doing what they're doing nonstop. Give me Tennessee at home plus 4.5 points. Maybe they lose by a field goal. Maybe it's 23-20. Maybe they're just too young and they're not quite ready yet and they find a way to lose, but I think they keep it close. At most, they lose by a field goal. Tennessee plus the 4.5 over the Colts.
Peter, the Pittsburgh Steelers at home lose by 14 points to a West Coast team at 1 o'clock last week.
That steel curtain is more like a wet towel.
It's not great.
Oof.
The New England Patriots looked awful week 1, a lot of holes. Looked better in week 2, but did they play? They played the Miami Dolphins, who looked like they're ready to open up the gates and let the rats leave the ship here. Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh finds a way. I like the low number there. Give me a late win for the Steelers, minus 1.5 in New England.
Yeah, just win the game and you cover. I don't mind this one at all. I had felt from before the season that people were just way too high on New England. They were bad up, like worst offensive team in the league last year. It's Rabel's first year. Like, can we give them a minute to try to build a program? Like, we got people saying they were a playoff team already. Like, come on, man. Jesus Christ. I'm going to head to Baltimore. If you were listening earlier on, you heard what I said. Like, the Ravens against NFC teams, they just crush them because they don't see them like that very often. They beat them pretty handily, very badly 2 years ago in the same exact spot when everybody was, so high on the Lions. They went in there and got absolutely blasted. I think they've been the best offensive team in the league so far this year. They're virtually unstoppable. Lamar looks fantastic. He's throwing the shit out of the ball, running only when he needs to. Defense is not great, but it's good enough. And at home, I think they're going to rise to the occasion. I'm going to take the Ravens minus 4.5 over the Lions. Interestingly enough, both of the lines in my NFL games are 4.5. How about that? Just noticed that.
In the review, I have the Washington State Cougars plus 19.5 against the Washington Huskies. The Oklahoma Sooners minus 6.5 versus the Auburn Tigers. The Denver Broncos plus 2.5 at the Chargers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers minus 1.5 at the Patriots.
For me, while I do like Oklahoma as well, it would have been one of my picks. I let you have that solo, and I went with Texas Tech on the road, plus 3.5. I really like the number. By the way, if that number dips below 3, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, but 3.5, I'm okay with that. And then I really absolutely love Indiana minus 5.5 at home against Illinois, my best bet of the week by far. And then in the NFL, I don't know. I just think Tennessee finds a way to stay close. If you look at their games, they don't really get blasted, or at least most of the game. Maybe things fall apart late, but I think they keep this thing close, maybe even win it outright. Tennessee plus a 4.5 over the Colts. And I love the Ravens at home against an NFC team and the Lions. Minus 4.5 sounds good to me. I think they win by a touchdown or more.
Trivia time.
Let's go. I feel good this week. I don't know why. I'm feeling smart.
Speaking about Auburn, Cam Newton is first all-time in passing touchdowns with the Panthers.
Who's number 2? Dang.
Steve Berline. Chris Winkie.
Steve Berline went to Auburn?
Cam Newton did.
You said at Auburn.
Yeah, but I said Auburn. We were talking about Auburn, Oklahoma, so I said speak about Auburn, Cam Newton, and then Panthers. You got to listen to the whole thing.
I'm sorry. So now we're looking at
is first all-time in pass touchdowns with the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
Steve Berline, Chris Winkie, Jake Delhomme, Kerry Collins.
Oh, man, this is tough. I'm totally guessing here. Jake Delhomme took them to the Super Bowl, did he not?
Did.
But it was a short run. Who else did you say? Berline and
Chris Winkie and Kerry Collins.
I'm going to go with Jake Delhomme.
You'd be correct.
Yes. I told you I had a good fucking feeling about today.
Cam Newton had 186. Jake Delhomme had 120.
I was closer than I would have thought.
Peter, Cam Newton is first all-time in passing yards with the Panthers. Who's second? Steve Berline, Chris Winkie, Jake Delhomme, Kerry Collins.
I'm just thinking, like, how many years did Kerry Collins play there? Same with Chris Winkie. I don't think it was a long run. Steve Berline was there for a little while. Oh, this is just a total guess. I'm going to take a shot and say Steve Berline.
Jake Delhomme.
Really?
As well.
I didn't think you'd go back to the well on that one. Okay. Dick.
That's why you got to get you here. Cam Newton, 29,725. Jake Delhomme, 19,258.
He's far behind.
All right. Walter Payton is first all-time in rushing yards with the Bears. Who is second?
Ooh.
Neil Anderson, Matt Forte, Gale Sayers, Thomas Jones.
Oh, man. God, I want it to be Gale Sayers. I don't know if it is, but I want it to be him. But I actually think what was this? Yards or touchdowns?
Yards.
Man.
Matt Forte, Neil Anderson, Gale Sayers, Thomas Jones.
Matt Forte.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I told you I had a good feeling today. I told you.
You want to guess what Sweetness had?
No, tell me.
16,726.
And how many did Forte have?
8602.
I doubled them. It's just so crazy. Did you watch the? Did you watch the fight Saturday?
I did.
Or Sunday morning, I guess.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. First and foremost, they have to.
They got to cut They got to cut a fight out or something there.
They got to get these things starting at 11 o'clock Eastern time. I get that you can't start it before 8 o'clock West Coast. I understand that because celebrities and all that shit.
Especially it was in Vegas too, right? So,
but come on, man. I mean, you can't start the fight at. I think it was after 12:30.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
That's just absurd. With that said,
distance and
yeah. With that said, good fight, not great fight, but good fight. And frankly, more than anything, boxing needs more of these. Like, can you guys get smart and just start putting together bigger fights and stop waiting till guys are 38 and 37 for these things to happen? Like, this is why the UFC is kicking your ass, because there's a great fight every fucking month. Like, either every week or every month, there's something big going on in the UFC. And it feels like this is the first fight, and I don't even remember how long there was. I will point out in boxing, there is a young heavyweight fighter that is very exciting. Moses Itama, I think is his name. He's like 10-0, 11-0, all by knockout. He just few weeks ago, he knocked out Devin White, I think the guy's name is, who at one point was a contender for the heavyweight title. He's making short work out of everybody. And what's amazing is he's fucking 20 years old. The way he fights, he looks like he's 30-something years old. He looks like a grizzled veteran. Like, the skill and talent level and technique it's not just some guy coming in throwing bombs like a Devontae Wilder or something like that. Like, he is a skilled and powerful fighter, somebody to keep an eye on. But can we get him some good fights, and can we get some other guys fighting, the big names fighting together, fighting each other more often? Like, this was a big deal. Everybody wants this stuff, man. And as much as I love the UFC and I do like it more than boxing right now, I want boxing to be great. There's something special, historically speaking, about boxing. Like, we want great fights.
And as socially goes, it's nice getting the guys together, watching a fight.
Yeah, man.
Having some beers late.
And it's just hard to do that at 1 o'clock in the morning at someone's house. So come on, help us out a little bit with that. But it was fun. It was good. It was nice to have a big fight. So that was good. Obviously, watching some football this weekend.
Football. Yankee baseball season's coming to an end soon. There's about 10 games to go.
Not quite Ryder Cup yet.
No, one more week out for the Ryder Cup.
One more week. I will say there is a wrestling event this weekend. A WWE signed a big contract with ESPN to have their they call them premium live events now, just the pay-per-view events. So there is their first. It was supposed to be after the new year, but I don't know if somehow they worked it out. That ESPN will be holding an event for WWE this weekend called WrestlePalooza. This is the first inaugural WrestlePalooza event. So if you are one of those people that purchased the ESPN app, which is $30 a month now, which is something I may be talking about in my intro next week, you'll be able to see that event. Otherwise, you'll have to figure out some other way, which I don't know what that other way is. Maybe you have some streaming or VPN or something like that. So I would never encourage illegal activity. For Scott Bracey, I'm Pete Colasano. You've been listening to Bump and Run. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
All right, cool. I should have no problem getting this
Thanks
out.
for making today work, dude. It's just fucking I got dinner tomorrow and shit, and I figured.
Yeah, no problem. And I have the kids for the weekend, and I'm gonna see maybe on Saturday if me and Peter Richard can get together and figure out if I can find a way to make that other computer work. If I have to divert some things somehow, just gotta figure out a way. This is just unacceptable. So
I hear you,
but I'll get this out to you later on.
Sounds good, pal. Thanks, bud.
All right, dude. Later.